You've heard when life hands you lemons, make lemonade? Well, yesterday we had a friend show up with a gift of 50 pounds of grapes. Both red and green. So this should be interesting. What are we going to do with all these grapes? Well, when life hands you grapes, make grape juice. So we're probably going to make grape juice. Also going to make some grape concentrate so that Laura can make grape jelly. And we'll see what else we come up with on this. But in today's video, we're going to make grape juice. First thing I need to do is pluck the grapes off and wash them. I don't figure y'all want to watch me pluck 50 pounds of grapes and wash them, so we'll be back in 2 seconds on your side, probably a couple hours on mine. So while we're plucking the grapes off the stems, we believe in multitasking. So we're going to let the dishwasher clean and sterilize our jars. Just a few jars. Won't need too many. I did say 50 pounds, right? So here we go. And what I'm going to do here is set this to auto wash and then make sure that we do the sanitize. Now if your dishwasher doesn't have a sanitize feature, using either high temperature or putting your jars in the oven at about 215 to 250 for about 10 to 15 minutes will sanitize them. But let's get that started and let's go pluck some grapes. Well, that's an hour worth of work, roughly 25 pounds of grapes. We still got the green ones to go, but halfway done with the plucking of the grapes. Then we've got to clean them and do all the other stuff. Stick around. Okay, and now we have the white grapes ready to be processed. So now I've got the red grapes soaking in the sink, kind of rinsing them off, and then I'm going to scoop out the amounts that I need and get those ready to go into the jars. Probably rinse them off again after taking them out of the bath. But I think we're going to make a little bit of grape juice, folks. What do you think? Alright, finally we've got all of our grapes plucked from the vines and washed, and we are ready to start making grape juice. I'm going to show you, my pot will only hold 4 half-gallon jars, so we're going to go with the 4, and probably we'll make several more before this is over. But you really don't want to watch me make 20 half-gallons, so we're just going to show you 4. Gonna need a few things. Obviously we need our jars cleaned and sterilized. I've already done that. I've got a pot for making sugar water in. I've got the pot, it's already warming up the water for the water bath canning. I've got my lid magnet so that we don't have to touch the lids. I've got them boiling in a pot of water back here to sterilize them. We're going to need our bottle grabber. This is primarily so that I don't burn the skin off my fingers. I've got a little bowl of vinegar to clean the lids and a paper towel. I'm going to need a couple of measuring cups. I'm using the Ball Blue book. This particular Ball Blue book, they've got several out there, but this particular one had a recipe in it that I wanted for the grape juice. This is, I believe, the 1986 version. I will put a link for this down in the description. This particular one, I believe my wife's mother purchased this at Walmart for $1.99. So today, most of them I couldn't find one under, double digits. I think I even saw one $59. So it's kind of an antique, I guess. But what we're going to do, we need a cup. For each quart, the recipe calls for quarts. I'm doing half gallons, so we're doubling everything. But for each quart, it calls for a half a cup to a cup of sugar. So I'm doubling that and putting in 2 half cups, so a cup of sugar per half gallon. And it calls for 1 cup of grapes, just whole grapes. I'm going to put in 2 cups, so subtracting that out, I figure I need 6 cups of water and 4 cups of sugar, and then the 2 cups of grapes. That's all there is to this. So first job is to make up the sugar water. It's going to take a while for that to heat up, so we'll use the biggest cup we've got and start filling this up. So for doing 4 half gallons, I figured up I'm going to need 6 quarts of water. Now, because the grapes are going to have airspace in them, I'm going ahead and putting in 7 quarts to make up that little bit of difference. So, okay, fine, I'm a little bit low on the sugar. The grapes are going to be sweet enough anyway. We don't need a lot of sugar. So, that's the way we're doing it. And we're just gonna get our sugar. Okay, so that's 1 cup of sugar. And this doesn't have to be exact. 2 cups of sugar. 3 cups. And 4 cups. Okay. Now we just heat it up and wait. So let's crank this up. I'm going to put the lid on it just so it'll heat up a little bit faster. And there you have it. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, we're getting pretty close on our sugar water. It's kind of rattling a little bit here. We're going to check it out. And I believe we've just got another minute or two before this is going to be boiling nicely. So put that back on for this moment. Crank it up just a little bit more. And while we're waiting on that, look, our wife's bird clock drives me crazy, but she loves it, so what are you gonna do? I need to put a couple of cups of grapes in each of these jars. So I've already measured out some. I'm hoping that I've got this about right. And it doesn't matter if we're a few short or a few over, it's no big deal. So that's about a cup. Two cups. It's 2 cups per jar. And what I'm doing, since we got about 25 pounds of green grapes and 25 pounds of red grapes, I'm splitting it right down the middle. We're going to do half and half. We're going to have some green grape juice and red grape juice. And that's about 1 cup. Yeah, I might could stand a few more in that one. Okay, and 2 cups. Now for the red. So I mean, y'all can see how simple this recipe is. You don't even have to be perfect on your measurements. You're dumping the grapes straight into the jar, and then you're going to dump the hot sugar water on top of them. There's 2 cups for that one. And 2 cups for that one. And there you have it. We're going to put the sugar water in here in just a minute, and then we'll put them in the canner. I've got the canner going to town. You can hear everything kind of buzzing here a little bit. So hang tight. We're almost there. Alright. We are rocking and rolling here. Just going to set this lid aside for the moment, because we don't need it anymore. Now, the hard part, sticking my hand down in this hot boiling water without getting burned. Wish me luck. I'll start back here at the back and work my way around. And we're going to fill this up to about a 1/2 inch headspace. Between 1/2 inch and 1/4, but I like leaning towards the half. I believe we need to calm our pot back down here. Switch to our next one. And there's no question I'm going to be dribbling sugar water, because it always drips a little bit. Just a smidgen more for that one. Alright, now for the last one, which gets more difficult because our pot is getting pretty empty. Oh, we are so close. Boy, I'm glad I added the extra quart of water in because there's just a little bit left down there. Okay. So now I'm going to take my vinegar water, just dip the edge of my paper towel in it. I'm just going to go around these edges. This is mainly to make sure that we don't have any of the residual water or any dirt or anything on top of this. Of course, I know they were cleaned before. Sometimes you get a little food residual and it just won't seal right. So that vinegar just makes sure that it is perfectly smooth and clean. A handy dandy little magnet. Let's reach in and get our lids out of the boiling water. Tell you, if I ever build another kitchen, get a new house with a kitchen, it's going to have a bigger stove, or we're going to have multiple stoves or something, because this reaching over boiling pots, it's rough. Let's get this done. And I do my best not to touch this stuff if I don't have to, but sometimes it gets away from me. Alright, now I'm going to tighten these. I've read a lot of places you want to tighten them to 2-finger tightness. Does anybody know what that means? The best method I have found, though, is I keep turning until the jar turns. Once the jar starts turning, I don't want to go any tighter, because you get too tight, you're building up too much pressure. But what I found when I was doing what I thought was 2-finger tightness, I had liquids coming out of the jars in the bath. So I didn't want that either. This is definitely not as tight as I could get them. So I figure I'm hitting somewhere in there. So whoever came up with 2-finger tightness, they need to explain what that means, because I don't know. Alright, we're ready to go. Let's set this lid off. I believe we can get away with just setting it over here. The water's already boiling in this, so we're just ready to start timing as soon as we get them in there, I believe. According to the blue book. I am supposed to do these for 10 minutes in the water bath. Based on our elevation, you're supposed to step that up 5 minutes. I believe we are above 1,000, or right at 1,000, so we're going to go ahead and do this for 15. But based on where you live at and your elevation level, you need to make that decision on your own. But I'm going to do them for about 15 minutes. And I usually try to adjust them around where the jars aren't actually touching each other. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I'm always afraid they're going to break by bouncing around against each other. So I'm going to set this lid back on. This is a pressure canner, but I'm using it as a water bath, so I'm not going to seal this. So if you are like me and your biggest pot is a pressure canner, I usually just kind of set it on there so that it's turned just the right way that it won't drop down and seal, but it holds the heat in so it gets done faster. So let's set this for 15 minutes and then we'll take them out and see what we've got. We'll be right back. Alright, we are down to 30 seconds. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? I'm excited for this to be done because I've got another 15, 16 I'm planning on doing. It's going to be a long evening, but we can get this done. Here we go. Are you ready? Count with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. Okay. Set this lid off. Don't just reach in and grab those jars. It will hurt. Grab your jar grabber. Okay? And pull them out. Kind of tilt them a little bit to get the water off the lid. Oh, that's looking good already. You see that pretty pink? That's our red grapes. And as this cools, the grapes will actually go to the top. It is so neat. And here's one of our green grapes. And those don't have a whole lot of color because obviously they're the green grapes. It's going to be a fairly clear, kind of a golden yellow color. Now my recommendation, if you are doing multiples like I'm planning on doing, go ahead and leave your water hot. So as you prep, it's not cooling down. Let's turn that timer off. It's getting a little annoying. There we go. So there you have it. And you can already see a lot of the grapes are starting to come to the top. I mean, it's just like that. When they're hot, they're at the bottom. They come to the top. Now, when you open these, you're going to want to refrigerate them, and I think they actually make a special top you can put on here that you can pour it so that the grapes don't get in your way. When I was growing up, we didn't do that. We just kind of slid the lid back and held it in place as we poured and let the grapes stay in there. The longer the grapes stay in, the more that flavor seeps into the water, and it just you can't buy grape juice like this at the store. Trust me. So if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to click the like button, give us a good thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe because we've got tomatoes to can. We may have a few more grape things going on. Who knows what we're going to get into. Also got a lot of things going on outside. I'm planning on building a few things, so I'm not going to give you too many hints because a lot of times I say I'm going to do something and it takes me a year to get around to it. So Ask my wife. My honey-do list is like this. Yeah, it's really long. So, y'all check back. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time right here on DIY Dave and Company. And at the end of the video, I'll show you the cooled down product of my labors today. See y'all.